Welcome. You have reached Imperial Reviews, and today's recap is Teacup series on Peacock, episodes 5 and 6. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. Let's get into it. So this episode 5, was pretty much the story of McNabb. When we left off episode 4, Olsen, the assassin that came in looking like a cop, was tied up. And after he was tied up, Ellen, the grandmom, got close to him, and the assassin spirit jumped out of Olsen, jumped into grandma. The grandma pretty much killed Olsen. So now the spirit is inside of the grandma. We all know Harbinger, which is in Arlo, is the good spirit. So this is the spirit of McNabb. We know also at the end, Nicholas, Merle, and Arlo was out trying to get the poison liquid that will allow them to bypass the force field, the blue line force field. But McNabb seen them. He rushed them to get the liquid, poison liquid, and Nicholas stabbed him. So he was badly wounded. So this shows the backstory to McNabb. So it pretty much just shows McNabb at the bar where he meets Travis. Travis is the guy that ends in episode 4 that had Arlo's dad. I can't think of his name right now. Down in the basement. So it shows the backstory. McNabb was at the bar basically talking about conspiracies, what everybody was thinking at the time. So he's talking about aliens. Basically, they here on Earth, and they walking amongst us. So he showed that his skin was pretty much fried, kind of like how Donald's skin was fried when he crossed the line for his wife. So, McNabb was drunk. They pretty much, the main owner of the bar pretty much said, listen, give me your keys. So McNabb gave him his keys, and McNabb pretty much said something to the bar owner and said, what about him? Pointed to Travis, basically having Travis take him home. As Travis was taking him home, McNabb was speaking still about the conspiracies. McNabb went in the house. Travis stood outside. There was a man that pulled up in a Camaro looking at Travis. And then Travis went in the house where McNabb was. McNabb was asleep. He was kind of snooping around his house at the same, but McNabb pulled a gun out on him, pretty much said, man, I don't care if you don't believe me. So from that moment on throughout the episode, they pretty much were vibing with each other, and McNabb was pretty much building Travis up to be one of them. Him and his buddies that knew about the aliens on Earth and knew it was a bad entity and a good entity of aliens and the spirits that jump in their bodies. And what happens is every time a good spirit comes, the assassin bad entities come out to hunt them down to kill the good entity. So right now, the entities are after Arlo. So we find out also that lady that put the spirit in Arlo, she wasn't bad. She was actually good spirit, and that was Harbinger transferring spirits and everything. So eventually what they do is they take Travis, they meaning McNabb and Olsen, take Travis out and pretty much, cheat teach them how to shoot. They building them up, telling them it's a network of them, and they pretty much know who's an alien. And it was pretty much the lady that we seen in episode 1 as soon as it came out, the one that put the spirit in Arlo. So pretty much shows her. They've been eyeing her, and they know her location. Now, from there, they want to make their move, and a guy in a Camaro shows up again. And pretty much McNabb and Austin said he was once one of them, but he went rogue. So they pretty much see him from time to time. So I'm pretty sure in between episodes 7 and 8, we're going to find out the dude in the Camaro, what he's been doing and how he ties into all this. So what you find out is the backstory where Ruben, and for the life of I can't think of James, that's his name. It took me a while. So James and Ruben went to this place to get help, and all the bodies was dead. You actually see how that all played out. Pretty much when McNabb, Olsen, and Travis went to the location to go after, they figure if they kill the assassin person, then that'll save everything. So what happened is the person who they thought was the assassin, which was the lady, she was actually the good one. And the assassin pulled up, and the woman pulled up in, like, you know, the a van where they scrape wildlife. That person pulled up, and that person started shooting and killing people. So they went in pretty much after they, meaning McNabb and Olsen, went in after them. They all had this mask on. They left Travis out. So they told Travis to create a pool and put water in it. And so Travis was panicking, and he really couldn't get himself together. So he wasn't ready. So what ended up happening is, first the good spirit woman ran out and ran into the woods, and she had the wire ties on. So that's when we see that her running in episode 1. So this tying into that. Now you see the bad spirit alien is killing all the people. So I don't know where Olsen and McNabb at this point while she's shooting and killing everybody. But nevertheless, she comes out. She takes this jar out of the bag, and the wood mill thing that they have out in the farm. She goes inside there and pours it inside the middle of the wood mill thing, and it starts to grow. So when we seen last episode, it showed Ruben just glued to this vision and just looking. It also explains McNabb why he knows about how it draws you to like a moth to a flame, and then when you get closer to burn you. So from there, Travis is watching all this. So McNabb came out, and McNabb seen the bad spirit alien pretty much creating this being force field. So he said, "I'm out, Travis. It's too late. They're setting a trap." And so he left on Travis, and Travis wasn't ready. And then Travis was sitting there. So what ended up happening is the bad spirit alien was already shot in the body. So the spirit, if the body's weakening, it got to hurry up and find somebody else to transfer the spirit into. So it was dying. So ran up on Travis, shot Travis like twice, and then launched the spirit into Travis. So once the spirit got launched into Travis, Olsen came out, and when Olsen came out, it launched the spirit into Olsen. So that's why we see Olsen showed up at the farm, and he pretty much is now an assassin looking to kill Orlo. So we know what happens with him with the grandma Ellen. So Travis was still wounded, but he went off and he wasn't quite dead yet. So he's explaining all of this to James in the basement. He had James tied up, and he explained everything and what he eventually did after he let James cut his wire tie. Travis blew his head off or whatever. So now James gets out. He's now looking for Ruben. Ruben is stuck in the wood mill area, and the force field is drawing him to it. But he's strong enough to back up. He got willpower. So what James does is chop into the wood mill and yank him out of the force field. And so right after he yanked him out, Ruben starts swinging on him. So of course he's swinging on him because James slept with his wife Valeria. So after that they got the fight out and they move on. Now they headed back to the farm, James's farm, and when they headed there, they seen Arlo, seen Merrill, Nicholas, and a wounded McNabb. So of course they finally get back, and McNabb is Maggie is pretty much stitching McNabb up to get him well, and now they breaking the news to everybody. Donald is there. They starting to piece thing together. They figure Ellen, the mom, that it didn't go down the way she said it went down with Olsen, and pretty much he was killed defenseless, and the spirit is in Ellen. They wouldn't try to get the remaining poison liquid that helps them out of the jar that bust when McNabb approached Nicholas and Merle, Arlo, and it was a wolf there, and the wolf pretty much licked inside of the remaining jar and then went across the line. So at that time, Nicholas found this book with all the information, and it was a book that McNabb had. So McNabb ended up came to, and he had the gun pointed at Maggie, Merle, and Arlo. Pretty much said he needed to take Arlo, and he needed to take Arlo because he can't trust who is an alien or not, or the assassin or not. And so Maggie pretty much said, "I'm not letting you take my son." So they're looking for Ellen, and so Donna went and got prepared because he seen McNabb with the gun. He put a vest on. McNabb ended up shooting him out of desperation, but Donald lived. He only took it, like he had the vest on. So McNabb dipped off somewhere. So now they're all sitting thinking, okay, what do we do? So they split up for a moment there. And when they split up, they don't know what was what. So they eventually get Ellen, tied her up. She pretty much said her shakes came back a little bit, and then she pretty much said she don't know if the assassin spirit is in her and it's just suppressing right now, or who's it in. All they do know is that the kids were all together still, so all the adults are split apart. So all the adults is pretty much could be the assassin. So pretty much at that time, Nicholas came up because he's been reading the book that McNabb had, and pretty much said, "Hey, if we figure out who it is, we could get the assassin to release from off the host." And so the thing is to figure out, well, who is it? So that's pretty much was episode 5 and 6. Episode 5 is longer than the other episodes. It's 51 minutes because it's telling that whole backstory. Episode 6 is back to like the 30-minute episode. So overall, this is a decent series. We do know now like the main antagonists are alien invaders. We're just gonna see how it play out with the last 2 episodes. Decent enough series to follow leading up to Halloween. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. Till next time.